A terror group linked to Al-Qaeda has urged Muslims from around the world to attack U.S. and Israeli embassies and harm corporate and financial interests of both countries. Ansar Ghazwat-ul-Hind issues a chilling statement warning of the shedding of blood of Americans and Israelis following President Trump's decision to recognize Jerusalem as Israel's capital. It also called for the Holy Land to be turned into a graveyard for Jews and branded Trump the madman in the White House. The statement comes as huge protests were held across the world following the U.S. president's announcement that he will recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel and move the embassy there from Tel Aviv. The statement said, Ansar Ghazwat-ul-Hind urges the honorable Muslims across the world to attack and harm U.S. and Israeli embassies, companies, and financial and commercial interests. The honor of Beit al-Maqdis will be restored by shedding the blood of Americans and Israelis. And the message continued, Holy Land must be made a graveyard for Jews, for oppression to end and word of Allah to prevail. And it states, it is duty upon Muslims to come forth with urgency and do everything that is needed to stop the madman sitting in the White House and stop him from dishonoring the sacred land of Beit al-Maqdis. Storm and burn the embassies of America and Israel, demolish them. It is the call of Beit al-Maqdis, and we should rush towards it. It has branded the battle over Jerusalem, referred to as Beit al-Maqdis, an issue for the soul of Islam. The group, backed by Al-Qaeda, is based in Kashmir, which it says it intends to liberate from India. The terrifying declaration was made as anger grows over Trump's decision, and protests have been held across the world, with opponents burning effigies of the U.S. president. U.S. Embassy staff in Jordan were warned not to take their children to school today amid rising anger. In a series of tweets, which were posted following President Trump's declaration that Jerusalem was the capital of Israel, staff said movements for U.S. staff and their relatives was being restricted. That was said to include an instruction not to take children to school. The U.S. Embassy Jordan account also said services had been suspended and that all embassy travel, both official and personal, has been banned until further notice. A statement posted on its Twitter account reads, the recent announcement that the United States recognizes Jerusalem as the capital of Israel and plans to relocate the U.S. Embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem may spark protests, some of which have the potential to be violent. The U.S. Embassy reminds U.S. citizens of the need for caution and awareness of personal security. Review your personal security plans, remain aware of your surroundings, including local events, and monitor local news for updates. Americans in Jordan are encouraged to maintain a low profile and to remain alert for developments. In the Jordanian capital Amman, unverified footage showed protesters chanting reportedly outside the U.S. Embassy. The U.S. Embassy in Ankara was also targeted by demonstrators while arrangements for a sit-in protest were being discussed in Kuwait. Elsewhere, U.S. embassies in the UK and Germany warned Americans to be vigilant in the wake of the controversial speech, which was condemned by world leaders. Tonight, President Trump said Jerusalem was the capital of Israel and pledged to move the U.S. Embassy in Israel there from Tel Aviv.